Hey everyone, Michael here. Okay, so just making this video in this style this morning just to prove the point that any business owner, any entrepreneur, any freelancer can create a video in this fashion without even having the face on camera. So there's really no excuse for anybody to not make a video, get it out there on social media, and then spread the word about what you do and everything. So this I don't mind being on camera, just doing this way every so often just to prove that point as well. No other particular reason. So it's raining today in Barnsley. Looks like the neighbours are having something done with the roof, so you might hear a bit of noise. Got me frothy coffee and got some highlighters, my nice pen that my sister Katie got me, and a few time block planners. So I'm on to my third time block planner, and the main purpose of this video this morning is to run through A, why I'm still using this, B, why I think it's a great planner to get, and C, why planning in general is a good idea anyway, and the way that I actually plan. So, right, I'm on my third one, so obviously I like this format. I've not actually been using this, too strictly in the way that it's intended to be used, so I've just been kind of using this bit really, but I've just kind of got used to the format. I quite like the ring binder. We're never really that much of a fan of ring binders before this, but I do kind of like how the pages can lay flat and everything. But yeah, I like the page quality. It's just got a nice vibe in general to it, so quite cool. So why am I still using this particular format? I like the size. So I did used to have A4, 2 pages a day diaries for the last few years, which I used to get from Ryman, which were really good. They were about 37 quid, so 37 UK pounds here in the UK, and I kind of got a bit tired of them because they were quite big and bulky, and I just find these do the job, and they're quite they're just the right size, basically, like Goldilocks, not just right, basically. So yeah, so everything kind of stacks up for me with this particular planner, and like as you can see, I'm on my third one. So they'll last a good few months. So if you're gonna kind of have a go with using these, you can just buy one off Amazon. They're about £15. I can't remember how long they last for, but let's say it's about 3 or 4 months. So you're going to be getting at least 3 or 4 of these per year. Let's say worst case scenario, it's going to be 4 a year. But I think you get nearly 3 months out of these. Anybody want to correct me in the comments if you're using these as well? Feel free. I really don't mind. So yeah. But have I been using this the way it was intended? Not necessarily. Am I going to have a, try harder? Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm all into continuous improvement, continuously learning, and, just getting better, basically, in, in the ongoing journey of becoming a better version of myself. Now, how do I actually use this at the moment then? So I'm not going to show you any kind of real data because that's obviously commercially sensitive and confidential and whatnot. But to start off, I'll just run through why I even use a physical paper planner like this when I've got an IT degree and I'm digital and all that kind of thing, and I was obviously use a tech stack in my business and everything. So I've got Outlook, I've got G Suite and all that kind of thing. So why am I even using traditional methods of planning and stuff like that. Well, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually doubling down, because I believe that when you're doubling down, you're really kind of focusing in on tasks, and there's kind of like some joy in writing something down, highlighting it, and then ticking it off, and I really enjoy that kind of process. And of course, everything's backed up digitally anyway, and I'm actually duplicating work. So you know, I'm putting things in into ClickUp for project management. I've got Notion as a second brain, and you know, like a brain dump kind of thing, because I believe that the brain's for processing, not for storage. And I've got Outlook calendar, and it's synced in with HubSpot and iLevel as well. So currently using a couple of CRMs, the customer relationship management tool. So there's definitely a tech stack there as well. But I just enjoy having a nice pen, using highlighters as well, and you know, just this whole experience of writing things down and planning ahead and getting things out of your head and stuff like that. So it's kind of present and in front of you, and it's something physical where you can't really forget that it's there as well. So that's quite important. So that's why I still use pen and paper and highlighters and stuff like that, and I particularly like the highlighters as well. This has been a recent addition, actually, highlighters. I was working in one of my clients' offices a few weeks ago, and I picked up an highlighter and started using it in my planner. And then I said to Vicky, "Have we got some highlighters?" And you know, she bought me these highlighters, which I'm really happy and grateful for. So yeah, started to do the highlighters as well, and that's kind of I think tuned me in a bit more with the focus and the RAS, the reticular activating system. So I'm kind of drawn to the bits that I'm doing, and I've not really got a color coding or coordinated system yet, but maybe that'll come. It's all a work in progress. We're all a work in progress, aren't we? But that's kind of working for me at this time. So to finish off this video, I will just run through the general importance of planning. Right, so you've probably heard that old saying or cliche even, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And having a vision, having goals, having tasks, having projects, which you've got, obviously projects always got a start and finish date, or they're not actually projects. It's just about putting something down on paper and then working towards that, basically. So planning is really important. It's a really important part of my life. The way that I plan is I plan tomorrow today. So today is the 17th of September. You'll notice this is the 18th of September. So I'm just about to plan tomorrow. So I'm planning tomorrow today based on what I need to get done. And what I do is I write down 3 to 5 non-negotiables that I absolutely need to get done. I've got to get these done. And I write these down here under tasks, and I can do more than 3 to 5 things. I'm not saying I'm just going to do those then stop, but I've got to get these done. It's a non-negotiable. There's got to be a really, really, really good reason why if I don't get them done, I get them done, and then I can track that I'm actually showing up for myself daily and getting this stuff done. And even on weekends, even on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm doing this and being consistent and showing up. It's really, really important. And then as I'm doing these tasks, the things that come into my head, I will write them down in these ideas. So these go in here, and these can inform, you know, the planning for the next day and day after that, all that kind of thing. And the good thing about this, I'll just move these out of the way for now, is so this is going to be tomorrow. This is Thursday. This is day 4, week 7. I really like how it's laid out, this. And then this is going to be Friday. And then when it gets to the weekend, it's a different format, because you can do your weekly plan and kind of do like a brain dump into here, and you can look back on maybe what you didn't get done, you know, if you've kind of been a bad one and not got enough done. And the thing is, it's about coming out of your comfort zone as well, and, you know, making sure that we are kind of like, you know, stretching ourselves, I suppose, to make sure that we are doing more and more. But I really love this weekend capture. So this is what you're getting done on Saturday, Sunday. So when it gets to Friday, a lot of people plan next week. So it depends how you want to do it. But on Friday you can plan for Monday. You can have the weekend off, or you can plan some stuff in. But I use this for business and personal. So I put everything into it, because I've kind of got an integrated life. You're not just, I don't have that divide between kind of that work life balance, because I believe in there's 5 things. There's fitness, fuel, so what you put in your body, food and everything, nutrition, family, finance, and faith. So those 5 things, so they're all working together, and you don't want to. I see it as kind of putting deposits into bank accounts, and if you let one kind of run dry or go into overdraft, it can actually bring all the others down. You know, so if you think about it as like almost like your credit score, you know, or you've got a deficit in one, you know, it can really affect every area of your life if you've got kind of bad credit on. Let's say you've got 5 bank accounts, and one of them you get bad credit on them because you miss some payments. It can affect your whole kind of credit score, can't it? So that's the way I look at it. If we don't, you know, exercise, or we put bad stuff in our body in terms of bad food and stuff like that, like processed food, white sugar, stuff like that, then, you know, we're kind of affecting our brain power, our work, family life. We can't be as present. We've got that foggy brain and stuff like that. So it's a bit like that with this in general. So this is a kind of life planner. So work, and I see this as a life planner. So it's work and play kind of thing. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say about it, really. But what I will say is I've not really been using this bit. I did start off using this bit. The way that you use this bit is, let's say, I don't know, every time you start work, 9 or whatever, you put 9 while 10. So the kind of thick line here is on the hour. This would be 30 minutes in, so past. So you block it out, and then if you don't get it done in anything comes up, you need to reprioritize. You kind of cross it out, and then you move it on to whenever you did start it. So let's say you're meant to be doing a piece of work at 9, well 10. You think it's going to take an hour, but you can't start it well 9:30. You cross it out, and then here you start it at 9:30, well 10:30, and you kind of put it in there. So it gives you kind of 3 kind of retries on things, and it's quite clever. And I just find it a little bit kind of restrictive, but maybe I'll get into using it this way as well. But I do like the flexibility to be able to do that. And then, I mean, to be honest with you, I can just write into this as well and use it as kind of overspill, and I've done that every so often. Just to finish off then this bit, so just to reiterate, tasks go here, 3 to 5 non-negotiables. As I'm going through my tasks, I'll be writing my ideas down. So anything that pops into me, so it's not distracting me from the task in hand, I will put it down here. I tend to work a system where in the morning I'm mostly doing marketing and sales, and then more like afternoon or late afternoon I'm doing some service delivery these days. So, you know, I mean, business is all about getting customers and keeping customers. So that's what I'm kind of striving towards these days. And then the daily metrics, it'll be like, you know, I'll put my marketing stats in here and all that kind of thing. And then the shutdown, you do a little tick on there, but I've not been doing that. So I've been a bad one on that. I've not been doing that. So Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. Planning for me is a muscle. That's I remember what a business coach said to me, Tim, a few years ago. Actually, he said, Michael, you got to get your planning muscle going, and I always remember that. So get your planning muscle going. I think it's a good thing. So plan tomorrow today. Don't let a day go by without planning. Keep the consistency at the weekends as well. I'm not saying work all weekend or anything like that necessarily. Unless you want to, unless you need to maybe. But it's momentum, and I think burnout happens when you kind of lose momentum and you have to try to get back into it, because it's a bit like a car where it'll expend a lot of fuel, relatively speaking, when you're first getting started. When you start the car, you get up to speed and everything. Once it's going and cruising, it's not too bad, and you'll see, if you've got one of those cars where it shows you the average MPG, miles per gallon or whatever, it will show you, kind of what you're doing at the moment. If you're on the motorway, kind of just cruising along, you'll be getting really good MPG, won't you? But when you just kind of, going through the gears, and you kind of maybe going, just getting up to that speed, you're expending more fuel. So it's a bit like that with anything. You're getting up to speed, and I think if you're stopping starting with things, that's where a lot of energy is expended, and that can lead to burnout. So I think getting into a nice groove, getting into a nice rhythm, and also using power rather than force as well. So power, high vibrational energy. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll know talk about using your energy wisely, how energy flows into you can store energy. You've only got so many energy units in a day, which means that the fewer decisions we can make in that day, we're going to have kind of more energy for the important things. So let's say you've got 100 units of energy, just arbitrary figure like that. Let's say you're making some little decisions about, which shoes shall I wear and stuff like that, rather than getting your shoes out, or your trainers or whatever, or your footwear the night before. That will help you. That day to have more energy for the important decisions. Let's say that a big decision or small decision, same unit of energy, use 1 unit out of the 100 units. So yeah, important that you're kind of reserving your energy for good decisions. And I tend to, mornings are great. Different kind of energy in the afternoon kind of thing. So you kind of find out when you can do your tasks more efficiently, and that's something that you can write down and kind of audit yourself kind of thing. Final thing I'll say then is, when you start to kind of tick things off, you build momentum with anything like this. And like I said, I like to do it in this way because it's a very nice experience to kind of get your pen, write something down. I like to then highlight, and then I'll tick off. So that's my process. You find something that works for you. We're all different. We all work in different ways. So there's no kind of prescribed one size fits all kind of thing. But it's just a recommendation. Whatever works for you. You can just, maybe you prefer to do it on a blank piece of paper with no lines, or you can have squares or whatever. So yeah, and then the other thing that I'll say is, I don't just write in this book. I've also got a journal, which is a different kind of thing. And again, this is, you've got a nice pen, you write on some nice paper, something that you can look back on. And if you're ever doing anything like a time audit, so a time audit is, let's say you want to find out some efficiencies in what you're doing. So you want to spend something like the next 2 weeks, for example, writing down what you're going to do as usual, but then actually every 15 minutes or half an hour, say what you actually did. Because there's a difference between what you plan to do and then what you actually did. And that helps you to audit. So you can do that for 2 weeks or whatever. You can maybe find some things that, you're repeating again and again that you can maybe delegate. So I've got a method which is eliminate. If you can't eliminate it, then automate it. If you can't automate it, then delegate it. So just starting at the beginning, are there any things in your time audit? Let's say you're going to do a time audit for the next 2 weeks. You find things that you're repeating again and again. So it's like sending this report and it takes you an hour every week or something like that. Can you find a way of just pulling that data through and then kind of automating it? So you're kind of spending a couple of hours front loading some effort to do this, but then you find that you're doing the same steps, and even though you've SOP'd it, so created standard operating procedures, and you've kind of got it down to a T, and that hour is kind of optimum every week. Can you get it down so you spend a couple of hours coming up with some method of just pulling the data and then automatically emailing those clients or whatever with that thing, and then you've spent 2 hours kind of working on the business then, rather than in the business, rather than 1 hour a week. So in doing that, you're just going to exponentially, save a lot of time, kind of perpetually going forward. So yeah, this whole thing, it all goes hand in hand. So planning ahead, then auditing what you've done, and then just optimizing, finding areas that you can eliminate things. Are there some things that you shouldn't even be doing? Are you kind of just going on and doom scrolling on social media for 2 hours a day? Is that what you're actually doing? Even though you think you've been working hard, are you actually just a busy fool doing the same things again and again? And you can look back kind of weeks and months and years with this kind of thing. So you can say, look, let's say you're frustrated in your business, you've been making the same revenue for the last 5 years. Have you in fact just been running doing the same thing again and again? Every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, or something like that. So you've not actually been growing a business. You've just actually been, you're not really been, growing the business for 5 years. You've just been doing the same business every year times 5, the same thing that you did in the first year, you've done in the 5th year, and all that kind of thing. Anyway, we digress. So wrap this up now. Post this now. If you're thinking about doing some videos, definitely get them done for your business. Personal branding, creating authentic content, where you're just being yourself, just talking about what you do to hopefully help somebody else who, in their business, in their life, or whatever. It's all good stuff. I love you and leave you. I'm Michael Greenwood. See you next time.